With that in mind, let's call on our next guest now, joining us to discuss terrorism awareness and personal security. Brian Morris, retired Master Sergeant of the Special Forces Green Beret, Skyping in this morning, quite appropriately, from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Brian, it's good to have you. We should also point out that you're the author of the Green Beret Pocket Guide, Terrorism Awareness and Personal Security. Brian, we'll get to your book in just a moment. First, we want to know what's at stake for Americans abroad now that that report has been released.
Well, first off, thank you for having me, JD. I appreciate it. And I would say, first off, that I understand that the country is polarized as far as Democrats and Republicans, but it's a sad day when Americans are put in harm's way for political reasons. The enemy, I can tell you from personal experience, does not care if we're a Democrat or a Republican. They look at us all as infidels.
So
the bottom line is, it's irresponsible. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so basically, you know, you're saying, do you disagree with the release of the report? Do you think it was just a political move?
I feel like it's irresponsible. It's a bad practice, first of all, to release techniques, tactics, and procedures for interrogation. That's all they are. They're just techniques and tactics that are utilized by individuals that are doing their job. These are patriots that were doing what they were supposed to do to get information. I think we lose sight and take things out of context. We lose sight of the reason that these interrogations were being done. This country has been attacked, the largest attack we've ever had on the nation, 9/11, and we had to get that information to save American lives. They could have easily done an internal investigation. If there was something done that shouldn't have been done, then they could have dealt with that privately. There was no need to ostracize these guys, to out these techniques in public. I don't see anything good that could have possibly came out of it.
And mindful of that, Brian, we've got about 2 minutes.
I don't speak for the military or the government at all. I'm speaking for myself.
Understood, and we do appreciate that. We want your candid assessment. 2 minutes remain in this segment. You graciously consented to stay with us for another segment to talk more about your book. I'm interested in morale. We heard over the weekend that in the wake of the release of this report, morale within our intelligence community has hit rock bottom. As a military veteran, as a Special Forces veteran, are there problems now with our military's morale, not only in the wake of this report, but on this drawing down of forces in an effort to lighten our military budget by this Commander-in-Chief?
I would say that it's disheartening, but at the same time, you have to remember the CIA are an elite group of people, just like in the Special Forces, and we tend to do things for the people to our left and our right. I'm not saying that these aren't extremely patriotic people, because they are. What they do at the end of the day is for their country, but they're going to keep their morale up just based off the fact that their survival depends on their being there for the guy to their left and to their right.
Dr. James Mitchell, the CIA, basically in Torture Architect, says our enemy knows, and I use the word torture loosely because some people say it wasn't torture, says our enemy knows us better than we think they do. Do you agree with that?
30 seconds, Brian.
No, I don't agree with that. I think that, first of all, I don't agree with the word torture. I don't feel like what we did was torture. That's my personal opinion. I think that they were using techniques that these guys were completely recovered from. It was just techniques that were used to gain information.
Fair enough. Brian Morris, we're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the practical advice you've put in a book, the Green Beret Pocket Guide, Terrorism Awareness and Personal Safety. There is more with Brian Morris as we continue on America's Forum.